What's up, everybody? Ahsoka episode 6 is here, and so are multiple new characters. It was another great week in Filoni Land, and we've got to get into it. There will be spoilers for the episode, so if you're not caught up with the show, like to episode 6, come on back to this video once you've seen the episode, and have a great day. I'm going to take a different approach to the breakdown this week because I feel like it just works better for the episode we got. Instead of having a whole section for the story, I'm going to do character sections because I feel this was a very character-focused episode. And if that's how you prefer these breakdowns to be, let me know down in the comments below and I'll do that going forward. Knocking off Ahsoka and HUYANG right away, though, because in the Ahsoka show, they were barely in it, and they're really just riding the the Purgle's tongue on their way to Peridia. They reminisce of their past, like the Clone Wars and farther back for HUYANG, and then HUYANG starts to tell Ahsoka of a story from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, which was also the title of the episode, and I get it's corny, but I don't know. I kind of liked it. Anyway, these two not being a part of the episode wasn't even a problem. It genuinely might have benefited this episode as we got so much Thrawn. So much, and it was so good. He's been out in Peridia forever now, and it shows because he's become a chubster. Nah, I'm just kidding, Lars. I love you, homie. He was really perfect as Thrawn, though, even better than when he was voicing him in Rebels. His trooper battalion, while depleted, is pretty badass and does seem to be reanimated like, Making Star Wars Leaks said. You have Enoch, his first in command, and he's the one with the gold faceplate. Very Roman Empire. Just watched Gladiator last week. Great movie. Back to focus. But Enoch is a very intriguing character to me, and I really want to see what's under that mask as soon as possible. Then, like I said, what seems to be his reanimated troopers, they're like tied together with these red ribbons, it looks like, at the limbs, and I don't know, man. It's all just such a cool concept with the Nightsisters involved because you don't know what's gonna happen, and then on top of that, they have hints of gold in their armor, like where there's cracks. Also, all that comes after Thrawn pulls up in his whip the Chimera. This is another thing that in live action is just so much more intimidating. Like, this ship is humongous, but it wasn't as intimidating as both Lars Mikkelsen's performance as Thrawn, which he didn't miss a beat returning to since he last voiced the character in Rebels, but his eyes, man. The makeup department did a really good job with this, and it's not to be taken lightly because Thrawn's eyes are not an easy thing to get right, and they got it spot on. Just like Amanis Fondi's performance as Ezra Bridger, we meet our long-lost friend for the first time at the end of the episode, and just like Thrawn, perfect. We should cover Sabine's journey to him first, though, because they go hand in hand with each other. Sabine arrives in Peridia with our villains, but as their prisoner, and she's immediately taken to a dungeon by the Nightsisters on the planet because they smell her. They smell Jedi. This little device they head to transport her, really cool touch. She's brought to Thrawn after that, though, because as we know, they've got their backstory from Rebels, and so he allows her to go look for Ezra, and he tells her it's because she helped with his cause, so he's helping her. But as always, we know with Thrawn, he has ulterior motives. He's sending her to lead them to Ezra so that BAYLAN and SHIN can take them out with a two squads, of stormtroopers, but she's so blinded by her love for him, whether that be friendly love or in the art of bow chicka wow wow is unknown. But her love for him has blinded her. So she meets the Ninja Turtles. I'm kidding, sorry. They're like space crabs or something. I got jokes today. I'm sorry. They remind me of in all seriousness, they do remind me of that general from the droid arc in the Clone Wars, the little dude, and also that the fisherman dude in Jedi Survivor. I don't know if they're the same species. These seem to be a new one because they got the alien language, which, as always from Dave Filoni, great touch, very George Lucasy. Anyway, it seems like they're kind of the Ewoks here, and they lead Sabine to Ezra as the two reunite after a long, long time apart. I love this moment, and as a Rebels fan, it brought me to a tear, and I just can't wait for more. Can't wait for them to team up next week, and just really the story because you don't know if they're going to team up. I mean, Sabine doesn't even tell him how she got there. There's endless possibilities for next week. Now, they'll be teaming up against two major opponents, really. The first being BAYLAN and SHIN, who are currently on the prowl for them, and don't get me wrong, Ezra is very powerful, and Sabine is a badass Mandalorian, but the Dark Jedi have two lightsabers, and our heroes have one. So unless those crabs got an extra lightsaber we don't know about, things are going to get interesting. But at the same time, Baylan might abandon the search for them because we learn he has other plans in Peridia. He speaks of a great power there that can end the cycle of this galaxy where a Republic figure and an Empire figure rise and fall over and over again with endless war, which obviously it's Star Wars, we need the war, but we're not sure what this power is, but it is the reason he's fought so hard to get there, and I think it adds a lot of depth to his character. On top of that, Shin has this odd fear of witches. We've seen it a little bit in the early parts, but when they arrive on the planet and see Morgan's three sisters, you can feel the worry on her body, and then she hits Baylan with the more witches line, which is awesome. The pair speak more of the Jedi Order here too as we continue to gradually learn more and more of Baylan's history, and Thrawn even tells us he was General Baylan Skoll during the Clone Wars, which is so badass. But I have to say, I do kind of agree with Baylan on the Jedi Order. He says something along the lines of, uh, he enjoyed the concept and the I guess maybe the family feeling of the Order, but very much saw its flaws, which they had no short list of. I loved getting more focus on these two this episode, and I anxiously await the knowledge of what their future is in this universe amidst Thrawn's return. Now let's wrap it up with the Night Sisters and Peridia, because they're very much connected. We've got Morgan Elsbeth, who, to be honest here, kind of an NPC, not a great villain, kind of just kind of there, and their connection to Peridia, as I said. When we arrive on the surface, we see three other Night Sisters, and these are very much traditional Night Sisters that we're familiar with from the Clone Wars, like on Dathomir, Mother Talzin, all of Ventress's sisters, and they looked great. We learn that not only are they from this planet, but their sisters were some of the first people to traverse the galaxy via the Purgle, which I thought was very cool. And we also learned that this place is a Purgle graveyard. There's a line that tells us as they're flying in, this is a place where they come to die, and the Eye of Sion flies through frozen Purgle bits, and we better not let James Cameron see that. He might cancel Star Wars forever. This was a this was another thing I loved this week, as this was truly a great episode, and getting Night Sisters in live action. I mean, Dave's just given us so much in this show. Hopefully, we get to see them use some of their magic next week in action. It was cool what they did so far, but I want to see it in action. I want to see them reviving stormtroopers. I want to see them throwing people across the whole planet. Why not across the whole planet next week in episode 7? As I said, I really enjoyed this episode, and also I think it's my second favorite of the season. My first by far is episode 4. I absolutely loved it. This one definitely second, and episode 5 is third. Obvious top 3, no doubt about it, but as always, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so let me know what you'd rate it and what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.